Hello students, welcome to the new lecture, and in this lecture we are going to discuss about the new topic, that is chapter 3. In the chapter 3 there are two parts, okay, chapter in the part 1 and part 2. And by the way, before we discuss, so good afternoon everyone, good afternoon, and also if you have any doubts or any questions, post it in the comment section or in the live chat section so that I can see that your question and I can answer to your doubt. Okay, so if you have any doubts or questions, post it in the live chat section. Okay, so good afternoon everyone. Okay, good afternoon. So first, come back to the topic, chapter 3, the world of microorganisms, part 2. Okay, so it means in the third chapter only there are two parts, the part 1 and part 2. This is the part 2. Okay, so microorganisms are present everywhere. In the last chapter, okay, in the chapter 3 part 1, we have discussed about the different types of microorganisms. So what is meant by microorganism? So the term micro, okay, so the term microorganism, so the micro means small, okay, micro means small or very minute, okay, organism means living cell, okay, a living cell. So our living organism, it means these organisms are very small to see, so hence we are calling them as microorganism. Okay, and by the way, if you are able to listen my voice clearly, let me know in the comment section yes. Okay, why? Because I can understand whether my voice is audible to you or not. Okay, so if you are able to listen my voice properly, so just type yes in the comment section. Yes, good afternoon everyone, good afternoon. And microorganisms are present everywhere. Okay, what is meant by microorganisms present everywhere? It means, are they present in the water? Okay, yes, they are present in the water, they are present in the air. Okay, so yes, okay, you are able to listen my voice. Okay, so very fine. So okay, my voice is clear, so then we will continue our topic. So microorganisms are present everywhere. So present everywhere means what? Present everywhere means, so they are present in water, in air and everything. Okay, so everywhere they are present. So you might have seen in the water there are some kind of microorganisms are present. If you drink that contaminated water, you may feel sick. Okay, you may fall sick. And air also containing some bacteria. Okay, and so on. It means the microorganisms are present everywhere. So that may be in the soil, in the water, in the air, etc. So this is the reason we are calling them as microorganisms are present everywhere. Microorganisms are different types. What are they? Microorganisms are present, maybe bacteria, microorganisms may be viruses. Okay, the microorganisms are algae and so on. Next, fungi, okay, yeast and so on. These all are the different types of microorganisms. And each and every type, in the bacteria there are different types of microorganisms. In the bacteria there are different types of microorganisms. Again in the viruses, okay, in the viruses again there are different types of viruses are there. Okay, so sir, send me 1 and 2 lesson video. Actually, if you go to the channel, in the playlist you can see our what is science. Okay, in the playlist you can see what is science playlist. Okay, click on the what is the science playlist. Okay, in the what is science playlist, you can see all different types of lessons. Okay, so it means from the chapter 1 to chapter 3, you can see all the different series. All series are present, series of lectures are present. You can see all lectures again, and you can write the notes also. Okay, so what you can write notes, leave the activity and leave some questions just to write these few important points. Okay, write the few important points, it is over, that is your notes. Okay, so how you can find the lectures? So go to the channel, and also in that you can find the playlist. Okay, your playlist name is what is science playlist. Okay, click on it and you can see all different all lectures from the starting to now. You can see all lessons. Okay, okay, so Ankita Singh, I think you got your question is cleared or your doubt is cleared. Okay. So next is useful. Some microorganisms are useful while others are not useful. So how the microorganisms are useful to you and why others are not useful? So it means there are three types of microorganisms. Okay. So three types of microorganisms. What are the three types of microorganisms? You can see some are useful. Okay. Some are useful microorganisms. It means these microorganisms are useful for us. So this is first type. Second type is non-useful. Okay, non-useful. These bacteria or these microorganisms, they are not at all essential for us. So I wrote activity also. No problem. If you wrote the activity also, no problem. But from the next time, don't write the activity. Why? Because if you write activity and everything, your notes will be very lengthy. If you want to write activity, then you can write. Okay, that is your wish. If you want to write activity, you can write. But so to reduce the size of the notes, leave the activities. Okay. So what is third type? Third type is harmful. Okay, third type is harmful. So useful microorganisms means these microorganisms are useful for us. They are useful for many ways. They are useful in the food industry. They are useful in the preparation of food in the kitchen. These useful microorganisms are useful in the medicines. They are useful in the factories. Okay, in some factories and so on. Okay. So next is non-useful microorganisms. What is meant by non-useful? It means they are not going to help us. They are not going to help us and they are not going to harm us. It means they are neutral. They will not do anything. These microorganisms, they will not do anything. They will live their life. Okay, they are nothing. Okay, they are not useful for us. And third type is dangerous microorganisms. These dangerous microorganisms are very harmful to us. Okay, sir, we should write only point, not activity. So if you want activity also, you can write activities also. If you want only points, write only points. Okay. So here you can see the preparation of curd activity. Okay. If you are interested, you can write. Otherwise, leave it. Okay. Otherwise, leave it. But you have to write these important topics like useful microorganisms, introduction. Okay. There are some important points are there, no? So though you have to write them. You have to write those points. So, but you can leave the activities and there are some questions and answers. So leave them. So just write these important points and make sure each and every chapter should be written in 6 pages. Okay. So this is about it. And what is first type? Useful microorganisms. These useful microorganisms are useful for the production of food, medicines, and in the factories they are useful. So non-useful means they are not useful at all. So there is no use from about it. Okay. So harmful means what? Harmful microorganisms means these microorganisms are going to cause diseases. Okay, they are going to cause diseases. What is the disease? Cholera. Okay. So next is typhoid, malaria, and so on. So these are the different types of microorganisms. They cause diseases. It means we should be more careful with harmful microorganisms. These harmful microorganisms will cause different types of diseases to the human beings, plants, and also animals. Okay. So this is about different types of microorganisms. Here the useful microorganisms means these microorganisms are useful in the production of food, medicines, fertility of the soil, and so on. What is meant by fertility? Okay. So textbook activities are own active. So these activities, whatever the activities I am teaching to you, it is taken from the textbook only. Okay. So you can leave the activity. You can leave the activity and write the notes. So even though if you want more information, in the notebook, no problem, write the activity. Why? Because you will get more knowledge. Okay. If you want more knowledge, write the activity also in the notebook. Why? Because if you write the activity, you will get some amount of knowledge. Okay. So that will be better. Okay. And also if you have some more, if you are able to write activities on your own, write your own activities. Okay. So fertility of the soil. What is meant by fertility? Fertility of the soil is nothing but the plants are going to contain some nutrients. Plants are not the plants, the soil. Soil is going to contain some nutrients. So these nutrients of soil is more helpful in the plant growth. Okay, these nutrients which is present in the soil is useful for the plant growth. So such in that condition, we can say that nutrients are helpful. Nutrients in the soil are more important for the plant growth. So if these nutrients are present in the soil, then we can say that the soil is fertile. What is meant by soil? Fertile soil? Fertile soil means if all nutrients are present in the soil which are necessary for the plant, that is known as nutrient soil, or you can call it as a fertile soil. What is non-fertile soil or unfertile? What is unfertile soil? Unfertile soil means if the soil do not have such kind of nutrients, that is known as unfertile. So unfertile means no nutrients in the soil, that is known as unfertile soil. Okay, so next is the preparation of curd. Okay, preparation of curd. How do you prepare the curd? This is activity 1 in the textbook. So how do you prepare the curd? So first, just to check importance of the microorganism in the food industry or in the food. So curd is also a food material. Okay, so first take 2 bowls. Okay, take 2 bowls. This is the first bowl and this is the second bowl. So in the both bowls, so lukewarm milk is taken. Lukewarm milk. Okay, so to the lukewarm milk we have to add butter. Okay, buttermilk. So what is meant by buttermilk? Buttermilk is nothing but take curd. So take curd, add water to the curd, H2O, water to the curd, and also churn it. Okay, so now curd will turn into buttermilk. Okay, curd will turn into buttermilk. So this buttermilk, you can drink the buttermilk, you can use in different kind of food preparations and so on. Okay, so take this buttermilk and add. Okay, add to only 1 bowl. Okay, only to the 1 bowl. It means you have to add buttermilk to the first bowl and you should not add buttermilk to the second bowl. Okay, so then we have to keep this both bowls in the warm place. Okay, wherever there is warm place, so keep these bowls in the warm place and also wait for 4 to 5 hours or 5 to 6 hours. So after 5 to 6 hours, come here and also come and check the both bowls. So you can see the first bowl is going to turn into curd and second bowl will not turn into curd. So why? What is the reason? The reason is in the first bowl we have added what? We have added buttermilk. So we have added buttermilk to the first bowl. As a result, the bacteria is present in the buttermilk. The bacteria which is present in the buttermilk is going to turn milk into curd. So lactobacillus bacteria is present. So this lactobacillus bacteria is going to convert milk into the curd. Okay, and in second bowl you have not seen any formation of curd. Why? Because you have not added any buttermilk. So no bacteria, no conversion of milk to the curd. Okay, so sir, activity is important, we should write in the classwork. So activity is also important, but if you are interested we can write, otherwise leave the activity, write about important points. Okay, important points that we have discussed. So if you are interested to write about activity, yes, write the activity also, it is also important, write the activity also. So next is the second bowl remains the same without any change. So why the second bowl is not changing into curd? Why? Because we have not added any buttermilk. So if buttermilk is not added, no bacteria. If no bacteria means the milk will not turn into curd. Okay. So this is based upon this activity. What we have found? We found that bacteria is responsible for the production of the food material. The food material is processed with the help of the bacteria. Okay. So next is the fermentation of dough. That is activity 2. So take 100 grams of maida. So we have to take 100 grams of maida. What is maida? Maida means all-purpose flour. Okay. All-purpose flour. So maida, there is small difference between the wheat flour, okay, wheat flour and also maida, okay. What is the difference between the wheat flour and maida? So it means wheat flour is nothing but it is a direct preparation of wheat. Directly wheat is ground, wheat seeds are ground into powder, okay. Wheat seeds are directly ground into powder, means they will grind the wheat seeds into powder. That powder is known as wheat flour, okay. And what is maida? Maida is nothing but around the seed there is coating, okay. Around the seed upper layer, upper some layer will be there, no, that layer will be removed, okay. That layer will be removed, and inside there is some part, no, inside the seed there is a white color part is there, no. That white color part will be made into powder, okay. So that powder is nothing but maida, okay, or you can call it as a all-purpose flour. So what is maida? So inside the seed the material is there, no, that inside material is made into powder and outer layer is removed. So that is known as maida. So wheat flour means the entire seed is made into powder, that is known as wheat flour, okay. So the wheat flour is little bit costly and maida is little bit cheap, okay. Why? Because they have taken the important outer layer is taken, so they are going to sell it for little bit less money, okay. So what we have to take in this activity, we have to take 100 grams of maida and we have to mix 1 or 2 spoons of the yeast. What is meant by yeast? In the last class we have discussed, in the previous classes we have discussed, yeast is nothing but microorganism. So it is also a microorganism. So we have to take this yeast in the shops. In the shops we can purchase yeast packets, okay. In the yeast packet you can see small tiny grains like structure, that is known as yeast, okay. They bring the yeast powder from the shop and also yeast, add 1 or 2 spoons of the yeast powder to the 100 grams of maida and then mix hot water, little bit warm water, so add it to the dough, okay. Add it to the dough and also knead it. What is kneading? Kneading is nothing but mixing, okay. Take 100 grams of maida, add 1 or 2 spoons of the yeast powder, add warm water and also mix thoroughly, okay. So now the dough is ready. So now keep the dough in warm place. Keep the dough in the warm place and observe after 3 to 4 hours, okay. And here the fermentation process is going to take place. The fermentation occurs in the dough due to the presence of yeast. So yeast is present in the dough, no? The yeast is present in the maida, and what this maida will do? So the maida is a food material. So now yeast is there, no? This yeast will eat the maida. It means it will eat some amount of sugars which is present in the maida, and it is going to produce carbon dioxide. It is going to produce carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide is a gas. This gas will trap, okay. This gas will trap and forms bubbles, okay. Okay. So as a result, what we can see here in this case we can see, so this is before the experiment and this is after the experiment. This is after 4 to 5 hours, okay. So it means after 4 to 5 hours the level of the maida is increasing because of the yeast. So here this process is known as fermentation process. In this fermentation process, the yeast is going to consume sugar and it is going to release carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide will trap in the maida and make the maida to rise, okay. You can see the maida is raising. Why? Because the yeast is going to release carbon dioxide and carbon dioxide will trap inside the maida or trap inside the dough, which causes it to rise, okay. So this is known as fermentation. So now it will become spongy in nature. It is going to increase its volume. So see, compare before the activity and compare after the activity, okay. So what we can see the level is rising. The level of the dough is rising. Why? Because due to the fermentation, okay, trapping of the carbon dioxide bubbles. And next is it is going to become spongy. Why it is going to become spongy? Why? Because carbon dioxide gas is trapped inside. This carbon dioxide is going to make the dough spongy. Okay. So next is the commercial use of microorganisms. What is commercial use? Commercial use means, this is activity 3. Commercial use of microorganisms means, so we have to take the 2 bowls and half are filled with water and add 5 to 6 spoons of the sugar. Okay. So yeast means, okay, Ankit Singh, yeast means. So your question is, what is yeast? Yeast is nothing but microorganism. Okay. In the microorganism we can see different in the microorganisms you can see different types of organisms like yeast, viruses, fungi, and so on. Different types are there. So yeast is one of the type of microorganism. Yeast is one type of microorganism. Okay. So sir, maida is good for the health. Actually, the maida is not good for the health. Okay, you have to eat it little bit. Okay, you should not eat the food material containing more maida. Okay, consume food materials which has less maida, or consume little bit less maida containing food. Okay. Okay. So this is about the activity 2. Now the activity 3. So take 2 bowls filled with water and add 5 to 6 spoons of the sugar. Okay. So 5 to 6 spoons of sugar should be added to the 2 bowls. Okay, we have to take 2 bowls. Again you can see first bowl and also second bowl. So we have to fill half of water. Okay, half fill is water is filled. Okay, and we have to add 5 to 6 spoons of sugar. Okay, we have to add sugar. Okay, we have to add sugar. So to each bowl we have to add sugar to each bowl. So then add 2 to 3 spoons of yeast to the first bowl only. So here yeast. Okay, you have to add yeast, and here no yeast. So add yeast to the first bowl only, and we have to keep both bowls, the first bowl and second bowl, both should be kept in the warm place. It means little bit more temperature. So then close with the lids. Now close the both bowls with the lids, and also wait for 3 to 4 hours. And after 3 to 4 hours, come back and also smell the content. Remove the lids after 3 to 4 hours. Okay. After 3 to 4 hours, come back and also remove the lids. Remove the lids and also smell the bowls. So in the first bowl, you can see characteristic smell. You can see characteristic smell. It means this bowl is going to give some kind of alcohol smell, and second bowl will not give any smell. It means you can see only, you can find the characteristic smell only in the first bowl because of the fermentation of the sugars. Sugar fermentation is occurring in the first bowl because of adding of the sugar, because of adding of the yeast. Yeast is going to consume sugar, and when the yeast consumes sugar, it is going to produce alcohol and also carbon dioxide. So then you can identify alcohol smell in the first bowl. Okay, so this fermentation process is used in the large scale. Large scale means in the factories. In the factories, this fermentation process is used for the production of alcohol, wine, beer, etc. Okay, and yeast is naturally growing in the grains. Okay, on the grains, the yeast is going to grow. Example, barley. It is a type of grain. On the barley, it is going to grow wheat, rice, and so on. In the crushed fruit juices, etc., the yeast is going to grow. So what is fermentation, Sharan? Okay, so what is fermentation? Fermentation is nothing but bacteria is there, okay, plus food. Okay, food material, whether it may be maida or grape juice or fruit juice, anything. So what the bacteria will do on the food material? This bacteria will consume food material, and after consuming food material like sugars, it will consume sugars, and it will produce carbon dioxide, and also it will produce alcohol. Okay, it is produce alcohol, and also it is going to produce energy. So the energy will be utilized by the yeast. Okay, this carbon dioxide will come out, and also alcohol will come out. So this will be about fermentation. Fermentation means, so the growing of microorganisms for the production of carbon dioxide, alcohol, that is known as fermentation. But some microorganisms, some bacteria will utilize food material, and instead of producing alcohol, what they produce? They produce carbon dioxide plus lactic acid. Okay, lactic acid. I went and seen fermentation of idli dosa batter. So if you keep overnight, the bacteria which is present in the batter, okay, it will produce lactic acid in that. It will produce lactic acid in the idli batter, and it will produce carbon dioxide. So in the next day morning, the idli batter will rise in the bowl. Idli batter will rise due to the carbon dioxide, and the lactic acid also produced. So this is the reason the idlis become more taste. Okay, in the next day, the batter, if you make the idli from the batter, the idlis will be more taste. Okay, more tastier. Okay. Okay, Chara and Spirogyra. Okay, Chara and Spirogyra, these are a type of algae. Okay, in the algae, you can see these microorganisms. Okay, these microorganisms are the example in the algae. Okay. So if you eat yeast, what will happen? Is eatable? Yes, yeast. If you eat yeast, nothing will happen. Okay, it will get digested. If you, for example, if you eat curd, okay, if you eat curd, what will happen? The curd will have the bacteria. That bacteria will enter into your intestine. So will you get any effect? Nothing will happen to you. Okay. So next, the medicinal use of microorganisms. Microorganisms are used in the production of medicines. Example, antibiotics. So what is meant by antibiotics? Antibiotic means these are the substance. These are substance produced by the bacteria, fungi, and so on, or yeast. Okay, and so on. So these are the antibiotics produced by these organisms. And these organisms, what they will do? They will produce some kind of antibiotics. They are helpful for us. So these microorganisms, some microorganisms produce antibiotics like fungi. Okay. So here, algae is a type of germ. It is not a germ, it is a microorganism. Okay. So microorganisms. Germs are nothing but microorganisms only. Germs are also a type of microorganisms. Okay. So here the variety of antibiotics are produced to cure the diseases. So what are the diseases? Penicillin, tetracycline, streptomycin, erythromycin, etc. So these are the different types of antibiotics. So these different types of antibiotics are produced, and these antibiotics are used to cure the diseases. Okay. So that these antibiotics are used to cure the diseases caused by the bacteria. So there are many types of microorganisms. Just now we have discussed what type of microorganisms. We have discussed harmful microorganisms. Harmful microorganisms are going to cause diseases. Okay. So harmful microorganisms are going to cause diseases. So to cure these diseases, we are using these antibiotics. So how these antibiotics are produced? These antibiotics are also produced by some kind of microorganisms. Okay. So next, other examples of the diseases like typhoid, okay, gonorrhea, diarrhea, tuberculosis, and so on. These all are the different types of microorganisms. Septicemia is nothing but it is a condition, okay, infectious condition caused by the microorganism. So here you can see antibiotics. Okay. So next doubt is fungi means. Fungi, it is a type of microorganism. Okay, fungi is a type of microorganism. So like bacteria, fungi is also a type of microorganisms, like algae. Fungi is also a type of microorganism. Okay. So here you can see antibiotics are produced in the form of injections. Okay, in the small bottles. In the small bottles you can see some kind of liquid. That liquid is known as antibiotics. And antibiotics are also available in the form of capsules and tablets. So these capsules are antibiotic capsules. Okay. So antibiotics are used to control diseases. Okay. So diseases in plants and animals. Antibiotics are going to cure the diseases. So bacteria are going to cause diseases in human beings, diseases in plants, diseases in animals. So we have to cure the diseases caused by the bacteria. It means we have to use the antibiotics. These antibiotics are going to control the diseases and they are going to cure the diseases. So antibiotics should be consumed which is prescribed by the doctor. It means after consulting a doctor, doctor will provide a antibiotics. So those antibiotics only should be taken. So you should not take unnecessary antibiotics. Okay, you should not take unnecessary antibiotics. Why? Because if you take antibiotics unnecessary on your wish, okay, these antibiotics are going to cause, these antibiotics are going to go and they will kill the useful bacteria in your body. Okay, so this is the reason we have to take the antibiotics only after consulting a doctor. Okay, so you should not take more and more antibiotics without any prescription. Prescription means what? Prescription means the doctor will write some slip. On the slip, doctor will write something, no? Okay, doctor will write some medicines on the slip. Okay, such kind of slip is known as prescription. So only with the help of doctor's prescription only we have to purchase antibiotics and we have to use when in diseased condition. Okay, and I hope this lecture is helpful to you. If you have any doubts or questions, feel free to post in the live chat section or comment section so that we can answer to that question or doubt. Okay, and we will discuss next topic in the next lesson.